CPS is a publicly traded company. It's Canadian Premium Sand officially. We trade on the venture exchange under the symbol CPS rather. And it was started quite a few years ago originally as a gold claim Toronto-based company. That group of owners got interested in a large silica sand deposit north of Winnipeg, and through a series of financings and transactions, and we divested of the gold claim and focused on the silica sand deposit. Originally, that silica sand is very high-grade silica sand, and we were focused on that deposit to develop a frac sand supply business to Western Canada. We knew we could make glass out of it because historically there's an island just offshore of where our deposit is, and they had excavated and made container glass of that for 60, 70 years. But we didn't know how good it was till we did the lab testing. And that's what really pivoted the company's focus. We sent samples to Germany, to Australia a few times, and determined that not only could we make very high quality flat glass, but because of the very low iron content of this sand, we can make solar glass with solar panels. So that's a very high spec, high clarity glass. But when it comes to patterned solar glass, every piece of that currently comes from the Pacific, Asia Pacific. So mostly China, and now because of some skirting around a few issues, they've set up manufacturing plants in Malaysia, in Vietnam, Thailand, but nothing is produced here, U.S. or Mexico. Not a single pane of it. So that's quite an opportunity, and we identified that opportunity through some very rigorous market research. And then the real key here to manufacturing pretty much anything, but something as energy intensive as glass, is you need to have access to cost-effective glass. And Western Canada has that, and there isn't a jurisdiction anywhere in the Americas other than Quebec and Manitoba that has hydropower as cheap as this. So, and the other really interesting part of that hydropower in Manitoba is that it's approaching 100% renewable. So this is a very unique deposit in a unique geographic area in a unique jurisdiction. We're not only just decarbonizing the grid here in all the initiatives that various countries are doing, but they're trying to decarbonize the entire manufacturing process, which really speaks to the embodied carbon. So if you think about getting, quite frankly, anything, Christmas decorations, if you will, but getting glass from China to anything in North America, the Pacific Ocean is inescapable. You don't air freight something as heavy as glass. It goes on a container ship. That's not without its embodied carbon footprint on that pane of glass. And so we sit here with the ability to produce the glass, and we're no more than 3 days trucking or rail from any one of our customers. And so the embodied carbon that we would have with the 100% renewable hydropower, responsibly, you can't get away with not using natural gas, but we have responsibly produced natural gas here. Then you take out the entire embodied carbon footprint of the Pacific Ocean, and we've got a very, very strong value proposition.